should.
Are you an atheist?
I am.
Okay.
I'm a Hasidic Jewish atheist.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not
you're a
atheist.
strong believer.
I believe in God, yeah.
Yeah.
So what my question is about the far left.
Yes.
And so there's many different issues with the far left. I guess we'll just start off with a random place. Let's say the issue with transgender, the idea that if you change, you actually become a woman. If you decide that you are a woman, then you are a woman. Like, what's your view on that?
I think the left has gone from uniting all the workers and all the poor people of the world to try and get them a fair deal to caring about which toilet a transsexual person
Can I ask
is.
where you stand on the left?
Politically, I'm from a left-wing family. I describe myself as left-wing, but I think partisan politics has sort of lost the plot. And things like the LGBTQ rights agenda, as much as it might be a worthy cause, I think it has muddied the water, and we've taken it to the nth degree and gone
So you
too
think it's
far with
ridiculous,
it.
basically?
Pretty much, in crude terms, I think it's become ridiculous.
And everyone should think it's ridiculous.
A friend I was chatting with, a campaigner called Kieran O'Reilly. He's outside the Ecuadorian embassy in solidarity with Julian Assange, and he was saying that in his day they mocked the left, saying that they were campaigning for equal rights for gay whales. But he said, but in reality, that's what it's almost become that ridiculous. And he wants the left to get back to its roots, which is uniting all the people, the proletariat and the workers to get a fair wage, because they're being exploited by the bourgeoisie, or the ruling class.
So would you say you're communist?
I'm not a communist, but I'm certainly a socialist. But then there's things that I believe in that are not typically left-wing.
Well, economically
Like what?
speaking, like what would you say? Would you be right-wing with anything economically, or that part is purely left-wing?
No, I'm not an economist, but I understand that the Soviet Union failed and that communism failed because, and even Lenin acknowledged that you need a period of capitalism with his new economic policy, and even Marx acknowledged that all societies would have to go through a period of capitalism, and you do need an incentive to work, and if everyone just gets the same outcome no matter what, no one will do anything and people will starve.
Okay, but do you think that we can get to communism, but just at the moment we need a bit of capitalism to get there, or you don't know, or like what would you comment on that?
I don't think
You just don't.
we can. I
You don't think you can?
we
Okay. Okay.
So what do
Apart
you
from
mean
in a
by
kibbutz in Israel,
which
is the actual true
Right,
communism,
right,
but it exists on a small scale.
Do you know why? Okay, kibbutzim. I actually heard an interview with a former Israeli kibbutz who was talking about this, and he said the reason why kibbutzim aren't the same as they used to be, they're not real communes anymore, is because the first generation they all came into it with one cause. They all wanted to build this commune together. They were all willing to assign jobs. The next generation just didn't, and that in basic is why communism doesn't work. If it can't work in one tiny village, how can it work on a national scale?
Yeah, and I think it could work in a tiny village, but it won't work on a national scale.
But what happens when the locals who all have an agreement have offspring who disagree?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and maybe that's why it doesn't work. I mean, I love the idea.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually. The thing is, I think from a very I don't know if natural is the right word, but like historically, many eons ago, when you had communities, obviously they didn't have money. The idea of I was actually watching a YouTube video, and there's a documentary about some tribes in I think it was in Africa, although it might have been in South America anyway, and they were. And it was describing their economy, how you'd have each tribe, they would share everything among themselves, but the way they did, which is like communism, so to speak, but the way they treated between the tribes was through sharing, and they're not sharing. I mean, like they're trading.
Yeah, trading.
Yeah, so which you could say is like a free market system. So I think when you have a very, very high level of trust and community and bonding, I mean, within a family, you don't trade with your brothers and sisters. The mother and father says, okay, it's all just shared, and
Well, me and my brother didn't share the Mega Drive.
No, but the parents with their kids, at least from that respect.
Yeah.
But once you as you get bigger and it becomes separate, you cannot have that system. And it doesn't. Anyway, let's move along from that.
Yes.
So, what about stuff like Antifa? What's your views on something like Antifa?
I'm not a big fan.
You're not a big fan, okay.
And so,
But
yeah.
do you think that a lot of
I want to hear a full answer.
Okay, go on.
That's your answer.
You're not a big fan. No one should be a fan. It's
Okay.
retarded that anyone is a fan.
Okay, go on. Ask
This is my point. There's like things that are generally leaning, like the Young Turks and their comrades. Sort of they're very, very, very careful, and I mean some of them openly support Antifa, and then they just sort of say, oh, Antifa is it's like a cryptocurrency. It's got no leader, so I can't say that I'm for it or against it, but I'm for their philosophy because I'm anti-fascist. Well, Antifa are fascists. By their actions, the majority of anyone who's done anything for Antifa is fascism. And it boggles my mind that anyone supports it.
I think a lot of these movements, who knows what the real agenda is.
Absolutely.
They're all funded by someone, and the anti-Semites will say, oh, George Soros, who is Jewish, funds all of these.
But I believe that he does, and I'm Jewish.
I mean, there's a lot of Jews.
Just because he's Jewish, that does not mean that it's anti-Semitic to say that George Soros funds these things. As far as I know, he does. As far as I know, there's good evidence that he does, and
George
it's a fact.
Soros. Who's the other guy?
How can it be anti-Semitic just because an individual Jew?
No, but hold on a second.
Does some bad.
You got to admit that people use that.
I just want to add of it. Sorry, I just want to add that George Soros was calling Facebook anti-Semitic because it was. I can't remember. It was so twisted. But they were calling Facebook anti-Semitic because there was some fight between Facebook and George Soros.
Okay, and Mark Zuckerberg.
And Mark Zuckerberg is Jewish, but somehow it was just so weird. Anyway, sorry, just kind of.
A lot of this is something that I'm ashamed of. Too many Jews are on the very far left. But hold on. Jews are by and large very intelligent, and a lot of very intelligent people are being pulled to the very far left. There's this thing that the right, they're country bumpkins, they're idiots, they're nutty rednecks, and it just but somehow people don't realize that dragging it completely the other way.
Why do you equate Judaism or Jewishness with right wing?
I don't. I never said that.
I know, but you were sort of contrasting.
left-wing.
I know, but it surprises you that Jews are on the left.
Oh, I see.
No. I'm saying that I like to affiliate with Jews as much as possible, and
you have a Jewish background.
Except
Yes.
if they're
Okay.
Texans.
No, especially if they're Texans.
I mean, it's people are finding strange bedfellows these days.
Very strange.
But maybe it's because so many very, very intelligent people are on the far left. I mean, I think for a while now the left has been winning the intellectual debate, but that's shifting. And the people who are still clinging on to the left,
I just want to comment though, and in England to say that the Jews are left, historically it's been true, but today the Labour Party, there's actually a video of where the Labour Party would not let in people if they were Jews. It was literally that bad.
Which video is that?
I'll link it to you, and you can put it in your you'll put it up in your link in your description.
The Labour Party wouldn't let people in if they were Jews.
Yeah, Joseph has got a video of it. What he did was, for whatever reason, he had suspicion, so he went there, and people were not being allowed in, and he asked them, "What's your name?" They got a Jewish name, and they were not allowed in. It was like a bunch. It was like a whole of them. Anyway, they were not there, and they kicked out. Yeah, they kicked out Jews, and they were not letting Jews in.
I mean,
It's extreme. I know. I was totally shocked. I was like, this is. Imagine them not let blacks in. I mean, it's just so extreme. You just can't imagine that it could happen.
The guy behind, I forget his name, the creator of Momentum, the campaign behind Jeremy Corbyn, he's Jewish.
There's definitely a lot.
I'll tell you something. I've met in Speaker's Corner Jewish people that are so rabidly anti-Israel that they will throw Jews down the well just to be because of their idealistic.
Is that a Borat reference?
No,
Jews
it's not.
down the well.
But it could be. He's so anti.
He's a clever guy, Sacha Baron Cohen.
He is very clever. I don't personally like him.
Another Jew. And he's also, by the way,
I want to make a point.
retardedly
Let me finish the point. He's a communist, right? And he's openly admits, this guy that I was talking about, is a Jewish guy who's anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, and he's so anti that he would go. Well, I already said it, you know. So these are the kind of Jews that might support Labour even if they don't let Jews in, because as long as they're against Israel, they'll support. These are the kind of people. I've met them. They were extreme. They were complete. I was shocked.
Well, look, the Jewish people. There is like any people or religion. There's a broad spectrum
of course,
opinion.
absolutely.
There's Jews on the left, there's Jews on the right.
The most Jews I know are on the right, because religious Jews are much more on the right than non-religious.
Religious people have conservative opinions, more by and large. It's just the way things are.
I would say perhaps most Jews in the world are not religious.
Yes,
most people of a Jewish background
most Jews are not religious. Most Jews are secular.
The Zionists, the founding fathers of the Zionist movement,
they were secular.
Many of them were secular.
Yes.
And this is maybe where the kibbutzim and the idea of
they
communism
were secular, yes.
Came from. And it's odd now that, as I said, strange bedfellows, that Zionists, as yourself, find themselves leaning more towards the right when you've got people like Donald Trump who was endorsed by the KK.
No, he wasn't endorsed by the KKK. I can explain that to you. That's because
David Duke.
Yeah, David Duke was a member of the KKK,
I'm not saying
but
Trump
he hasn't
likes
been
David
for
Duke.
years.
I'm not saying David.
Well, that's really important which way round it is.
I'm not saying.
Hold on.
I'm not saying Trump likes David Duke. I'm saying David Duke likes Donald Trump.
Yeah.
But what does it matter if David Duke? Let me answer this one.
No. But let me just say that David Duke.
Yeah.
He's not part of the KKK and hadn't
Anymore.
been for years.
Yes.
No,
you're right.
The point is that is not because he could be anything by now. The point is the newspaper's saying a former. Now David Duke's an asshole. Don't get me wrong, but context matters, and the fact that the whole meme went around that Donald Trump said this about Mexicans, this about Muslims, but he doesn't know about the KKK. That's not true because it was based on David Duke, who is a former KKK member.
What's far more important is that it's David Duke who's supporting Trump, not Trump who's supporting David Duke.
No, but the thing is that Trump refused.
David Duke?
Anti-Semite.
Yeah. But I'm just making the point.
Holocaust denier, basically.
How do these right-wing, hood-wearing anti-Semites reconcile who like Donald Trump, such as
I don't think Trump has an anti-Semitic. Yeah, I don't think Trump has an anti-Semitic.
They're willing to look past that.
That's a strange bedfellows, but I think there's far more stranger. But you're right, there are many.
What are the other ones? Give me another one.
Well, I would say Islam and the far left is incredible.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's just unbelievable. There's loads, but there's
Yeah, well, we live in
very strange times.
I was baffled that David Duke endorsed Donald Trump because I don't believe that Donald Trump has a single anti-Semitic bone in his body. He's supported a lot of Jewish charities. He's an entrepreneur from New York. His daughter's a convert to
His
Judaism.
grandchildren are Jewish.
There's just no way the guy's anti-Semitic. And like if you want to, David Duke, his whole thing is about powerful people giving to helping the Jewish cause.
David Duke hates the left because it's dominated by Jews.
I know he's
and
on
he
the right.
Thinks all the
but I
Jews.
followed.
Many of them were.
Well, I think he thinks.
Karl Marx was Jewish. Leon Trotsky.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, but
there's been many influential Jews on the left. But
But Donald Trump isn't even on the right.
Where is he?
He's a Democrat. He's been a Democrat voter his whole life.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. The far right, that was where his base of support.
Right and left
was.
has shifted a lot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, you
But
yourself,
it means nearly
many
nothing.
people on the far left might consider because your view is that you're right. Because
Absolutely.
There you go,
I would be dismissed. I've had many. I argue with the far left all the time.
Right. Yeah.
And some of the biggest like enemies of the far left are on the left. I mean, you might say Christopher Hitchens was one, but he was a little bit before this crazy era. You've got Sam Harris.